yourself and where you are.
Buju, Tabiki Giza Skijikwe, Indishikas, Nagachiwanang, Indunjiba, Megizioram. Hello everyone, my name is Tasia Martino. I am from the Fond du Lac Reservation, which is the reservation that approved the Line 3 project. I'm here today at the Capitol Lawn. We're just here to draw awareness to the ongoing fight. Many people walked 256 miles all the way here. We're here in a treaty stance for the 1805 treaty between, the United States and Minnesota with our Lakota relatives. We have our relatives here from the Rosebud Reservation who are standing for their treaties. We're here to, support, uplift, and empower them. They were not consulted about the Line 3 project, and we're really upset about that because many of their mounds still exist there. I'm a co-founder of Camp Migizi, which is a resistance camp in northern Minnesota. We put our camp up right in the heart of the Fond du Lac Reservation. And, we're just out here standing for our water, standing for future generations. I made a promise to my eldest daughter that I'd do everything possible to stop Line 3. And I plan to uphold that promise. And so we're out here, in solidarity with Indigenous struggles all across Turtle Island. And, we're calling for the administration and the powers that be to revoke the permits and help us stop Line 3. Where I come from, I don't have the support of my local tribe. We are the reservation that, approved the Line 3 project, but I do hold the support of many Lakota grandmothers who came out to Camp Migizi, to tell us that they support us, to tell us that they love us. And, we shared many things, and a lot of them were stories of how important these land are to the Lakota, Nakota, Dakota people still to this day. And, it was my resolve to continue being a good steward of this land, to ensure the safety of their mounds and the safety of, all of these natural resources that we're only borrowing from future generations.
Mm-hmm. How did you get involved with the Lakota People's Law Project?
I was at Red Lake Treaty Camp in August, and we did a dance, and we did a ceremony to call upon the spirit of Crazy Horse to awaken the Lakota. And I watched as over 20 water protectors were very violently arrested. I was not arrested that day. And that night, we called for the Akichita to come. And that was how we met, the Lakota People's Law Project. They came into the camp, and, when they stated who they were, it was that, aha, they're here moment for me. And, I introduced them, I introduced myself to them, and I told them, my intentions with that ceremony and how happy I was to be able to welcome them home. And we've been working in partnership ever since. Camp Migizi is a resistance camp in the heart of northern Minnesota. We are located on the Fond du Lac Reservation. We are the most controversial camp, mainly because, we do not hold the support of our tribe. There are multiple camps who are in resistance. However, they do have the support of their local tribe. We are a mostly queer and BIPOC camp full of, self-proclaimed Indigenous anarchists. And, we are a direct action camp. And what our job is to do is to enforce the treaties. And, we show up to assist the other camps, assist with direct action for, our relatives who hold the true power of prayer and ceremony. That's what we're fighting to protect. We're fighting to uphold those treaties. We're fighting to protect our clean waters, and we're fighting to protect those who are, in ceremony and ensure that their treaty rights are not violated. And, Enbridge was given cease and desist letters by both the Red Lake Nation and White Earth, and they did not listen to either of those cease and desist letters. And that's where direct action comes into play. We stand firm in solidarity with all of the MCT Minnesota Chippewa tribes that have, refused and do not want the Line 3 project built. And, we continue to stand strong in our solidarity with all Indigenous nations that are fighting racist colonial resource extraction. And, we're going to continue to be here, and we're going to continue to be fighting. And we're going to do everything we can to ensure that this pipeline, whether they build it or not, we're going to do everything we can to ensure that no oil moves through this pipe. So, I believe that Standing Rock, we remember Standing Rock, Standing Rock awakened the world. And when they put out that sacred fire at Oceti, they didn't put that fire out, you know, they kindled it in the hearts of each and every single one of us. And, you know, a few years back, I made a promise to my oldest daughter, you know, shortly after Standing Rock, that I would do everything I could to stop Line 3. And I don't make promises to my children that I don't intend to keep. And so, you know, I'm out here because not only did I promise my eldest daughter this, but I made promises to future generations. I made promises to children who are not yet here. And so often you meet young people and they tell you, you know, they don't want to have children. They don't feel that bringing children into the world right now is safe. And we're fighting for that future. We're fighting for those children. So on one such occasion, you know, my tribal council came out to my camp. They brought with them elders of my reservation, and very publicly, they culturally and spiritually abused me. They told me to pull down my camp, that I didn't belong here, that I wasn't wanted here. And that was very hard. That was very traumatizing to go through. And so we met with the Lakota grandmothers, and, you know, Madonna came here to Camp Migizi, you know, to express their support and to tell us that we did have that love, you know, of the grandmothers. We did have that support of elders who recognized, you know, the sacredness of water and the future that we're all fighting for a safer, more viable future that is hopefully fossil. Well, Enbridge states that the project is 85% complete. I remember during the height of Standing Rock, that was also what the Dakota Access Pipeline people were also saying. You know, we still have time to remedy this, but we need people on the ground. We need people, you know, who are willing to step away from, you know, the luxuries and reach back into the past and, you know, revisit those old teachings and those old ways that we were taught how to live in a good way. And, you know, I think now is the time for us to continue doing that. You know, Indigenous resistance did not start at Standing Rock. That is a fire that's been burning within us for over 500 years. And that's not a fire that's going to stop burning at the end of this pipe. You know, these pipeline fights, when they end, you know, Indigenous, the fight does go on. And, you know, I think ensuring that we are, you know, uplifting, empowering, and supporting one another, regardless of which reservation, which nation. It's not about, you know, any of that anymore. It's about us as one powerful red nation standing united, telling, you know, the United States government and those in power that, you know, we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to stand up for one another. We're going to support one another. And, you know, BIPOC solidarity that has grown here in the state of Minnesota since the uprising of, you know, George Floyd here in Minneapolis has been absolutely beautiful. You know, this is how we move into that, those sacred prophecies that we're told. You know, it's by working together, and, you know, that's what we need to do now. I have 4 beautiful children at home. I have 3 beautiful young Indigenous daughters. And as Indigenous people, we know the statistics we face when it comes to the missing, murdered Indigenous women's epidemic. We're taught the statistic 1 in 3. So it's not so much a strength, but a fear. You know, we're also told that when projects such as Dakota Access Pipeline are built, you know, the statistics we face as Indigenous women increase by 22%. And so for me, it was a choice. I could stay home in fear, or I could put my body on the line to do something about it. And, you know, I did make a promise to my children that I would stop Line 3. And I have one strong son who's not even 2 years old. And because of the state of the world, I can't even promise him that he'll grow up gathering wild rice, which is the reason that my people, the Anishinaabe, came here to northern Minnesota. You know, wild rice is who we are as a people. You know, it's the reason we have these treaties. It's the reason that we are here. And when I think about a future where my son isn't able to gather that, you know, it helps me, it grounds me. And, you know, not only do my children give me the strength, but all of the beautiful people that I've met on this journey, you know, who believe in me and support me, you know, I owe it to them to keep going. You know, oftentimes as people who are considered leaders in these movements, we get lost in something called idol culture. We believe that it's only our story that has, you know, weight to it, or that should be told or heard. but it's the stories and the lives of all of these amazing people that I've met on this journey that keep me strong, that keep me moving forward, you know, and it's the dreams that we've shared with one another of a safer, more viable future for BIPOC people. And, you know, we're going to continue fighting for that future.
So let's all help her with that fight. Please, let's be generous. Let's all go. If you have not donated yet, and I'm going to really promote a lot of donation tonight to Lakota Law. So again, I'm going to bring up the Q code as I chat with you for a minute. And it's just so easy. Just take your cell phone and go to the Q code and put your camera right up to it. And you'll see a little gray bar that comes up that allows you to then open it up on your browser. And let's all donate to Lakota Law, you know, and support her. I mean, did you hear? I'm so touched, and I appreciate the chat box, because I have been reading what all of you have been writing in the chat, many of you have been writing in the chat, and how touched you are and how deeply connected we all are. And God bless her for the courage and the way she's fighting for her children and for the children that are not even born yet. When she said that, I felt a shiver go down my spine. So please do just donate, and we sure do appreciate your donation. And Ramayan is here, which is wonderful. So to introduce Ramayan, I'm going to turn it back over to my co-host, Jane Kaplan.
Hey, Scott, thank you. So we're really excited to have Ramayan here. He is at the forefront of spirit and technology. And he is one of the co-founders of Unify.org, which has created 47 global meditations and events around the world, maybe more than that now, breaking the world's record for the largest global synchronized meditation with Deepak Chopra, Oprah, and more. He's the founder of Manifesto.earth, which aims to distill the most prevalent systemic change models into a manifesto that can be actionable for our times. He's the founder of Ayana Water, which brings structured water solutions for health and wellness, operates worldwide. He's a Bhakti Fest participant. He's a musician, a yogi. I think it's, what do we call you? An mysticpreneur. I love that. And he also has a poetry book coming out soon called The Beloved, along with an album. So he is a busy man, and we're so excited to have you here with us. You know, we showed your video earlier, but so we're happy to have you here live, and we'd love for you to share your wisdom with us tonight.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much, Janice. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, all the beings that have come and contributed so beautifully. I know what it takes to create this container week after week, and the consistency and the diligence and the discipline it takes, and the love, truly it's love that it takes to come and do this work. And I feel your love, and this is what it takes. It takes rhythm, it takes love, it takes consistency, it takes humility, it takes a desire to uplift the collective, to uplift the whole, and to highlight those issues, and to highlight people that truly need platforms and voices. And this is part of the change. This is how we utilize our technology and as a methodology of broadcasting. And that's all we've tried to do at Unify. Really, it is how do we leverage these technology platforms to bring voices and to bring the world together in global synchronized coherence in meditation, to hear the voices of our elders, wisdom keepers, of knowledge in the youth. We need to hear the voices of our children. We need to hear the voices of the youth. And we're in a very critical time in history, and we all know this. This is not new information. But what is new is that we're being asked to come together across our tribes around the world. What was this beautiful woman, Tasia just spoke, where it is, we're at a moment right now where it's not just around our individual indigenous relationships. Yes, my culture, my indigenous culture is India, and the Dharma culture and the Naga culture that comes where the roots of yoga. And yes, yoga has been colonized around the world. I know that. We understand that. But I'm not here to fight that. I'm here to come now educate. And I'm here to walk arm in arm with my collective brothers and sisters who are embodied in that same knowledge. Because one thing I have found now, walking this world and walking arm in arm with leaders across this planet, is that those who are anchored in truth, those who are anchored in Dharma, in the eternal reality, the truth is the same. There's no many truth. There is truth. Truth is. Our eternal nature is truth. Our undying eternal quality of who we are is truth. Our connection to life, our intrinsic interconnection through the elements is truth. These things are truth and that have been embedded in cultures from around the world. And those who recognize truth and who are standing in that with lineage traditions who know how to share that, we must unite. We must come and share. We must be seen as a unified voice on this planet. There's no time for anything else. We can respect culture. We can respect tradition. We can respect ceremony. We can respect knowledge, and yet we must align on the fundamental truths that make us unanimous. That's our time is calling for nothing less. And this is where we created the Unanimous Charter. And you can take a look at unanimous.earth. And we are now vetting this charter across the world by creating a very simple global constitution and a couple of lines. It can't be this grand constitution. It has to be a fundamental set of truths that we can all align on, that we can build a new cultural model from. Because we're in a moment right now where capitalism is failing, but we don't know where we're going. And that's a scary moment for a lot of people. And one thing I wanted to speak about today, and that I was asked by Jay to speak about, were the rights of nature. And if you look at capitalism, the system of capitalism, there's two main things that we have to see. One is that quote unquote capital is gained by extracting raw materials from the earth, plus labor, plus the force of entrepreneurship equals a output of a finished product. That finished product you try to sell for more than the extraction process. That's it. That's the game. That's the game of capitalism. So this whole world is trying to get resources for as low cost as possible and labor for as low cost as possible. And what we've called free market capitalism is, in a sense, a methodology for global corporations to extract the wealth from poorer countries. That's it. It's sugar-coated in a million different ways, but this is what it is. So the countries that have poor labor protection laws get exploited. And the countries that don't have nature protection laws extract as much and as possible as they can, as quickly as they can, to boost profitabilities. So the only two ways beyond a major global systemic change, which is coming, that we can create a bridge to protect our children, is to enshrine nature laws that give rights to natures. And this is happening. This is happening around the world. Even Canada, just a few months ago, got our first major river, the Quebec River, protected legally. That means the river is a corporation. That means it can sue in court. The river itself is appointing those who are stewards of it, the nonprofits, the indigenous voices, the wisdom keepers who have been stewards of the waters, appointing them with the legal authority to sue anybody who pollutes that river in court. And this is what we've never had before. Us environmentalists are putting ourselves on the front line with no legal jurisdiction to fight. This is happening again and again and again and again and again. But as soon as we get the legal rights, when a tree has legal rights, the same as a person, because all a corporation did was give an entity the same rights of a personhood. Why should nature not have those same rights? If an abstract entity like a corporation can have those rights, why cannot a river? Why cannot a tree? Why cannot the minerals and resources underneath the ground? And this is what capitalism is most afraid of. The Angen is most afraid of nature getting rights because it means that it can have a voice to fight. And then we will truly have the teeth that we're speaking of. And this is happening, and this is a global movement. Rightsofnature.org, Vandana Shiva, and some incredible beings around the world setting up tribunals, but it's a very nascent movement. If I was to say there's one thing that needs to be the bindu point or the center point of this whole movement that we can collectively galvanize upon, it is rights of nature and how it's stewarded and how that belongs to the commons and how the voices are able to be allocated. And if we can do this around the world and truly have protections, legal protections for our rivers, for our forests, for our oceans, for our minerals, for the four-legged ones, then it's going to be much harder for the corporations to extract. Nestle will find the cost value of extracting that groundwater once they know that they can be sued with damages in court on the billions of dollars legally, not like it is now. You can't do that now. If you've noticed, Nestle and these great companies have sued states for blocking them from accessing the groundwater because they say the states have no legal jurisdiction because it's not protected under law. And so this is the key right now, to blunt capitalism, to give us enough time to pivot towards new systemic architecture. And that systemic architecture is coming. It's coming, but it's difficult in a world that is so mired in an old way, in a status quo. The engine is going to churn until it burns. And it burns up all the resources and it burns up all the human capital to feed its endless greed. It's a cancerous system. And if we want to have a hope of putting a brake on that cancerous system, we do need to protect the rights of nature. I don't see any other way.
Thank you so much, Ramayan, for just beautiful expression. I just want to invite everybody, let's just take a breath. So much uncomfortable information that you just delivered that's so important for us to take in, to digest. May that then light the fire of what each and every one of us can do to turn things around.
Yeah.
Ramayan, thank you so much. And thank you for creating Unify. Unify has been carrying us. We figured it out about 2 months ago. We hit over 1 million views. So thank you for that. And
yes.
And for people who want to learn more about Ramayan, because he is truly a Renaissance man doing a lot. You can go to his website. Perfect. Welcome to the multiverse, clearly. Ramayan, RAMAYAN.com. Ramayan, RAAMAYAN.com. I think Marvel is making a movie about you, pal. All about the multiverse, which clearly he's a poet, he's a musician, he's a yogini, and clearly an activist. So Ramayan, I sure hope you'll come back and be on our show again because you have so much to share.
Thank you for having me, Scott. And the last thing I'll say here is that one of the most important texts in yoga is the Bhagavad Gita. And the Bhagavad Gita, for those who don't know, is it comes from a larger text called the Mahabharata. And the Mahabharata happened 7,650 years ago, which in the Indian cosmology said it was the turning of the Kali Yuga. It was the beginning of the age of darkness, where man would forget his true nature, forget his inherent divinity, and be mired in the illusion of separation. And at this time, at the turning of every age, in the Indian cosmology, the avatar, which means to descend and heal, avatara, the supreme consciousness, supreme reality in its masculine and feminine form, come to earth and stage a Mahalila, or a great story or a great play to teach humanity about the coming of the next age. And the Bhagavad Gita was it was on the battlefield. So in the Mahabharata war, there were an evil cousin of Arjuna, and Arjuna is a protagonist, and Duryodhana is his cousin. And I won't go into the whole thing about how the epic buildup managed to happen, but suffice to say that there was a battlefield and that there was forces of good and evil. to create abstractions of it, much more detailed than that. And Arjuna was going into battle, and he was looking at the battlefield and seeing that the people he was going to battle with were his family, his beloveds, his loved ones. And in all my relations, we see that even though those who we're going to battles with, the corporations, we see them as our family. They may be lost, they may be confused, they may be out of synchronization with their own hearts, with their own true nature, but they're truly our family. And Arjuna broke down on the battlefield and said, I can't do this. I can't go to war with my own family. And Krishna came and told Arjuna, oh, my beloved Arjuna, do you not forget your true nature, that you're eternal, that this is all but a Mahalila, this is all a grand play, and all the souls that are birthed and dying come from me and return back to me. And in that moment, Krishna gave Arjuna the codes of the nature of reality and told him who we are, our true nature, the nature of Raja Yoga, the nature of mind, the nature of the cosmos, the creation and dissolution of planets, the eternal nature of the soul and how it operated, how to achieve perfected states of consciousness. He gave the entire crystallization of the yogic philosophy on the battlefield, Kurukshetra, the field of Dharma, to empower Arjuna to have to do what he had to do to stand as a warrior and fight against injustice. So yoga is not just up and out, maintaining consciousness, leaving the world. No, yoga is encoding the true eternal nature of our beings back into us, so we have the courage and the knowledge to be able to stand and fight in this world and to transcend fear. And just wanted to share that.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Ramayan. I hope you can stay for a few moments at least, because people would love for you to put into the chat box some of the links that you mentioned. You said them kind of quickly, so we can put some of the links in about the New Earth Constitution and such. That'd be awesome.
Sure, I will do that. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. God bless you, and thank you for your mission and for the way you're showing up in the world.
Thank you.
All right. Well, what a perfect lead in to our keynote speaker, Madonna Thunderhawk. And to tell you a little bit more about her, here's Jan.
Thank you, Scott. So Madonna Thunderhawk, she's a member of the Ohahenampa band of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. She has a long history of grassroots activism. She was there at the beginning of the Alcatraz movement. She was there at Standing Rock for the pipeline there. With the Lakota People's Project, she is a tribal liaison, so she's a really important person with our group. She's the co-founder of Women of All Red Nations, as well as Black Hills Alliance. And not only was she there at the occupied Alcatraz, but Wounded Knee as well. She spent months camped in Standing Rock to oppose the Dakota Access Pipeline and protect clean water and treaty rights. She builds alliances, and I believe that's one of her superpowers. She's a grandmother to a whole generation of new and young Native American activists, as you could see by listening to Tasia. Also, we'll start off before we bring her on. She was featured in the film called Warrior Women, and she has been a part of that project since its inception. So we have a little bit of a trailer, a little clip to share, and then we'll also share the link at the chat room of if you're interested in getting the film for educational purposes, etc., a way to do that. So Scott, if you could play that clip, and then we'll bring Madonna on.
This country is built on the bones of our ancestors. We have our culture, we have our way of life, we have our language. What we're trying to do is retain it. Retain our right as a people to be Indian.
It was truly an empowering, free time. Watching the women is amazing how they handled everything. protecting our people and our children's future and fighting, being warriors in that way.
The press, they just automatically gravitated to the men. And who really knew what was going on and who was really running the show were the women. We were a movement of families.
Being the daughter of Madonna, she definitely had a reputation of being strong. And when someone went to her for help, she did what she had to do to make a difference.
We're here to stay! The water!
However, we get the job done, you know, whatever it takes.
Thank you for joining us, Madonna, and please share with us your wisdom.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me. I feel very honored. You know, listening to the others talk and all of, you know, the subject all around water. And I feel the urgency, you know, because of the climate change. Over all these years of being involved in the struggle, because we're land-based and we have to constantly be struggling to maintain our land and our water and our resources, that's just an ongoing thing, intergenerational struggle. But here in my elder years now, I'm seeing things that I never thought I'd see. How our mother, the earth, is struggling. You know, what's happening with the natural order, which was of course predicted, but human beings being the way they are, greed, racism has the upper hand. So it's a hard struggle, but the way I look at it is, as far as for the indigenous of this land, it's an intergenerational struggle because it's a responsibility. And it's what our ancestors left for us. So there's no age limit on this protection of our Turtle Island. So myself and other grandmothers, elders, what we do is we support the young people. We let them know, we go places, we go to Line 3 to let them know that we support you. We know what you're doing and we're your people and we have your back. Because as long as we're here as Indigenous and identifiable as Indigenous, we're going to be in this struggle. If it isn't the pipelines, what's next? You know, as long as the greed of global capitalism, you know, has this planet by the throat, we're always going to be in this struggle. So I'm so proud of the young people that are standing up. Tasia, just an amazing young mother. And I'm so proud of all of them, because that way we know the struggle's going to go on. The fight is going to go on to protect. And that's our legacy from our ancestors, to protect. We have never, ever attacked. We've always been in a mode of protecting. So I see the ways of the world, the way it's going now. Maybe in a way, maybe people have to be faced with some real harsh realities of everything else they've taken for granted. You know, pretty soon, maybe food won't be, maybe there won't be a shortage of food, but it'll be, you know, people will be paying so much for it, you won't be able to afford food, you know, things like that people aren't looking at. So fighting for the environment is the most important thing. Renewable energy is the most important. But it's a struggle, you know? And it's just how individually is what, individuals are what are so important. What one person can do to stop this, it can happen. It has to. For the little ones and for those unborn. That's our responsibility. So I just want to know, I'm really impressed with your program here. I'm so amazed that, you know, it's this technology. I'm glad I even was able to get on. Somebody had to help me do that, but I'm learning. Not too old to learn. But yeah, it's just the solidarity. That's a term we used in my day, was solidarity, you know, and building alliances and that, you know, it's just, that's the way to go nowadays, because nobody can, you know, we can't do anything alone by ourselves. You know, it's a global thing now. We have to all pull together in whichever way we can. And I've been with Lakota People's Law Project for quite a while, and that was a first for me, because I don't, you know, I work with doers. I'm moccasins on the ground. I don't do anything else. I'm community based, and you know, you have to keep your focus. And Lakota People's Law Project is so valuable for us because they're in it for the long haul. They listen to us. We work together as partners. And I'm so thankful for you for promoting our organization. I'm so proud of the Lakota People's Law Project, and I want to thank you all.
Thank you so very much. It's an honor to have you with us, to watch that video and just think how long this battle has been. So thank you very much, Madonna Thunderhawk. And for people who are interested in learning more about the Warrior Women Project, it's warriorwomen.org, warriorwomen.org, or you can write to them at info@warriorwomen.org. So I want to, you know, certainly encourage all of you to go there and check it out. And how wonderful it is, Madonna Thunderhawk, to have you with us. And thank you for being with us for a couple of hours now.
Thank you.
Really appreciating your time.
Yeah, I'm still awake.
Yeah, fantastic. And you're in this.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being with us. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are one. We are one. We are one. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. We are one. One love. We are one. One love. We are one love, yeah, yeah, one love, 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 one love.
Absolutely. We are one love. And isn't it inspiring to hear from different generations? Obviously, Ramayan is a different generation than our grandmother that we just heard from. And I'm just appreciating the different generations, the different races, and people coming from all over the world, coming together as the Global Peace Tribe. So it's a beautiful thing. And we want to let people know this is, of course, where we kind of share about some of the announcements of what's happening, and want to invite everybody to stick around for tonight's after show. We had so many wonderful presenters and videos and things we wanted to share. And so it's going to be a very extensive after show. So we want to invite everybody to make sure you participate in that. Next weekend, we're going to have a very unique show. As most of you know, I do a show every Friday night called Straight Talk. On Saturday night, I do Saturday Night Live. And on Sunday, I have my Sacred Sunday show. And next weekend, all 3 shows are going to be dedicated to raising our level of energy, raising our alignment. And so we are working with the twin rays, so Shekinah and Sananda, for all those shows. And by the way, I am seeing you, Purofe, and we're going to go to Purofe and music right after these Global Peace Tribe announcements. But definitely next weekend, it's going to be really fascinating. I'm going to be actually up in Ashland, Oregon, along with Deborah Giusti. And we're going to be staying with the twin rays, Shekinah and Sananda, and we're going to be working with them. And so on Friday night, Straight Talk, Saturday Night Live, and Secret Sunday show, we're going to be learning their magic. You see, they are living in the reality we all want to ascend to. They're really there. I've spent quite a bit of time with them now, and they're the real deal. They're already experiencing heaven on earth. They're already experiencing the golden age right now. They're in the same group consensus reality that we're in, but they have attuned their bodies and attuned themselves in such a way. And so next weekend, we're going to be learning about that. And so to give you a little taste, here is our promotional video, really for next Saturday night, but it's really for next weekend. Enjoy.
Welcome to Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. I am Shekinah.
And I'm Sananda, and we are so much in joy to invite you to come join us in experiencing the alchemy of the divine human for the new earth.
What is the divine human? The divine human is a frequency of human being that lives beyond the struggle. It lives in love. It knows only peace and experiences joy and bliss in all moments, even and irregardless of whatever is happening in the world.
And each one of you that is receiving this invitation, you've heard that call within your soul before. You came here for this transition, for the world to go through its rebirthing. You came here for this. And so this beautiful Saturday Night Alive show will be dedicated to you and to the divine human that is being rebirthed inside every being that is ready to awaken their own divinity.
The divine human is within you. It is waiting to be birthed, waiting to awaken. As you are choosing that you also are ready for your divinity. You are ready to access greater wisdom, greater love, greater power, greater presence in your life, to transmit that into the world and know beyond all knowing that we are all here for a grand celebration and that we have come for nothing but that.
So we look forward to joining you this Saturday Night Alive, beloved Scott, and a whole host of divine beings, you included.
So it's going to be an amazing weekend. I want to thank our editors, Alan Lundell and Son Marion, who happen to be two of my oldest and most long-term friends and collaborators. They've been creating our promotional videos. And so thank you, Son and Al, for putting that video together, and really looking forward to Deborah and I being up in Ashland with Shekinah and Sananda. And I want to say they're the real deal. I've been around for a long time. I've met a lot of amazing human beings, and they are truly living in a state of consciousness that I aspire towards, and I'm imagining most of us do. So next weekend, we're going to learn a lot from them. Another exciting event, as you know, we're now doing special events where you can go deeper with some of our favorite presenters. And so our next one is going to be on Tuesday night, September 14th, and it's going to be with the wonderful Swami Beyondananda and one of our favorite musicians, Larissa Stowe. You know, Larissa is who does the song that you hear at the beginning of our show every week. And she's, of course, been on the show many times. I've gotten to know her through Saturday Night Live and recently developed a nice friendship with her. And she's also a very high vibration human being operating at a high level. And Swami, well, we all love Swami Beyondananda. He's funny and he's very wise. So they are putting together an evening of cosmic comedy and mantra-infused rock. And they're going to lift us out of the battlefield and out of this kind of craziness and onto the new playing field. So Saturday Night Live is really bringing us into higher and higher vibration. And we need to find that balance of supporting our activist friends and recognizing there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the ground while raising our consciousness. Remember, in order to change the world, we have to change ourselves. We need to be the change we want to see in the world. So definitely register. And the September 14th event, and thank you, Susie and Debbie Johnston and Jan for putting the links into the chat boxes. And by registering, it's a Zoom meeting, not a webinar, but a meeting, which means that if you want, you can turn your camera on and we're all going to interact with each other. We've been doing it that way. We had a great time with Neil Donald Walsh last week. And it's a wonderful way for us to get to know you, our Global Peace Tribe. So definitely come in and connect on Tuesday night, September 14th. And there are a limited number of tickets. So it's a good idea to buy your tickets now because it's the early bird price, only $22. So definitely do it now before the price goes up and while there's still tickets available. I also want to invite people to my Sacred Sunday show tomorrow morning, where we're going to be dealing with a really beautiful theme. We're going to be dealing with the theme of understanding our shadow side and recognizing that our sexuality and our spirituality and our shadow are all part of the human experience. And I've got three really wonderful women who are all wise teachers who will be coming into my Sacred Sunday show tomorrow morning. That's at 10 o'clock. And it's always great if you come on into the Zoom room. So register, it's free. It's a free show, but register so you can come on in and participate in the conversation. And again, one more time, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Unify or one of our YouTube channels, and thank you to all of our broadcast partners. Really appreciate Unify. It was really cool having Ramayan on today, one of the founders of Unify. Really want to thank John and Summer Raymer with the Sign Network, who always get us out to about 100 different groups. Alan Steinfeld, his YouTube channel, and all of our broadcast partners. Thank you very, very much for bringing us. And if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, come on into the Zoom room. We've got well over 300 people that are here. We're all chatting away with each other and connecting, and it's really quite wonderful. And then finally, I'm going to put the spotlight one more time on beloved Jay Mayer. He didn't know I was going to do this. There he is. He was listening. That's a good thing. Thank you, Jay, for supporting the show, sponsoring the show. And we're going to hear from Jay in the after show. We're going to hear Jay speak, and we're going to hear Jay play some music, and we're going to see some wonderful Jay videos. So a whole lot of Jay is going to be coming along with many other things. So stick around for the after show tonight. And thank you again, Jay. Love you very, very much. All right. We're going to play some music. But before we do that, again, just want to encourage everybody to donate. If you've not donated yet to the Lakota Law Project, please do that. The website is, the web link is going out. And thank you, Susie, for putting the links in for us this week. Thank you, Jan and Debbie, for all the times you do that. And please donate to lakotalaw.org. Really, really important that you do that. And I'm going to pull that up one more time for you to take a look at it. This is what you'll see. And again, I pulled up the QR code earlier. And so you can use that as well. But I think it is time for us to get to some music. God bless Purofe. She's one of our favorite musical artists, and she's been waiting in the wings for a while. So I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Jan Kaplan, to introduce Purofe.
Hey, hi, Purofe. She's hanging in there with us, though she's only an hour away from us time-wise, but just wanted to let you know she just got back from Santa Fe, where she was reunited with Eulalie, her singing group that she used to play a whole lot more with than in recent years. And I had a wonderful visit with a childhood friend. And anyway, so she's all refreshed after her 8-hour drive from the airport. And we're so happy to have her here. And I know she's got some awesome music in store for us right now. So take it away, Purofe.
Hear me?
A little bit louder,
Okay.
just a little bit, not,
How's that?
better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a song. I'm not going to be able to use the looper tonight. It's just acting up. So I'm going to play this piece I wrote 30 years ago. And it's on an album with a friend of mine called The Condor Meets the Eagle. And that in those days, that was when lots of Indigenous people were beginning to come together. And anyway, it's kind of an activist song, I guess. Can you hear the guitar?
It's light. The guitar is light. We can hear your voice well, but the guitar is a little bit light.
Is that better?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. You still take, 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 you still take. I saw them lying stacked high on shelves. Cardboard boxed and labeled, a skeleton mother holds her embittered child. Uncovered, no blankets, no nothing, just how I was looking at myself buried alive. Military donations, government research, science, churches, and museums. I was looking at myself buried alive. I am my ancestors, my mother's stolen grave. Rob myself from the right to live on creation. Then came you still take. Indigenous world and mind, indigenous body and soul, carries the cries from the center of the earth. Well, the center. Hey, if you wipe away these people, you will wipe a wave protection that provides all people with life on earth where she's dying to live, dying to give all that she is. Indigenous world in mind, indigenous body and soul carries the cries from the center of the earth. Of the center, fighting on the front lines of government corporations, sucking life from what feeds them, leaving millions with no reason and nowhere to go. She's dying to live there, dying to give all that she is. Indigenous world in mind, indigenous body and soul carries the cries from the center of the earth. Well, the center, yeah, you still take, 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 you still take. Yeah, watching it. Yeah, watching it. Yeah, watching it. You're watching it. Where you're hiding. Yahweh, you're hiding. Yahweh, okay.
Thank you so much, Purofe. People are asking where they can get that recording. So I'm going to go to your website. I don't think it's on that particular website, but if you could maybe stick around just long enough to put in the chat box how people can get that recording.
Sure.
People can get other recordings from Purofe by going to purofe.com, PURAFE.com, and follow her. There's a lot going on her website here. So we really always want to support our musical artists. And Purofe, thank you so much for.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm having a really issue with my throat this evening, but anyway, I got through
That's
it.
all right. We appreciate you. Let's all twinkle Purofe with lots and lots of love. Lots of love.
Thank you.
Purofe. Absolutely. Well, Jan, tell us who's up next, because it's somebody very special.
Yeah, thank you so much, Scott. Brooke Medicine Eagle has been in our community for a very long time. And she is an ecologist. She's written books. We're going to post her links in, and she's got a very robust Patreon page. But let me find oh my God, everything's, hang on a second. I am so sorry. I've got lots of things happening on my end here.
While you do that, I just want to acknowledge that
Yeah.
Brooke Eagle is one of the real pillars of our community. And she's been presenting. I saw her at Deborah's event, Harmony Festival, many years ago. And so Brooke has some music for us. She has some wisdom for us. So Brooke, take it away.
Thanks so much. Really an honor to be here. Honored to be with all these wonderful people. And I was thrilled to see the women here speaking so strongly. I I'm sorry that the light is a bit odd. It was either no light or too much light. So it seems like a little bit too much light.
You could never be too well lit. Never.
Anyway, I wanted to share with you all, and thank you so much for being here. It's wonderful to be with you. I wanted to share with you that I was born in the high country of the Crow Reservation on my dad's original Indian allotment. And we lived on a self-sustaining homestead ranch far in the back country. We carried our water. We farmed with horses. We didn't have electricity. We didn't have running water. And so I started very, very close to the earth. And I really fell in love with this earth, deeply profound love with this earth. And I have committed myself to be an earth keeper for all of my life. And one of the real joys, it's interesting, of course, that we're all talking about water because the program was about how we can take care of the earth. And really, if you're someone like I am, and many others of you are, especially people in California and Oregon right now and other places in the West, you realize that there is no life. There is no life without water. Mother Earth is a blue-green, stunningly gorgeous water planet. And so the water is absolutely baseline. Other than our air, which we also need to address, water is so powerful. And, you know, I was raised in the country where there were beautiful, beautiful, pure springs, little tiny flows of water coming out all over the mountains. And that pure water became my water, those tiny streams where the source of water is, became my heart's place and my connection with water. And so I want to sing an altar song. And that song is literally a song on the altar of water and springs. And as I sing this, I'm going to shorten it because of time. But as I sing this, I would like you to think about a time in the future, hopefully near, that we have awakened to our stewardship and our love for this earth and all our relations. And we have purified the waters. And every place you go, you can drink out of the streams. It's so clear and so beautiful and well protected and well loved. And when you think about this, I want to share something with you that stands near the fire, my Cheyenne teacher showed me. Because I'd like to really emphasize to you about the importance of water, the real nitty gritty. Water doesn't come from the tap. We need to protect where it comes from. And what she would say to me is anytime I went toward water, we were usually around streams, she would say, you need to pick up some water and cleanse yourself, one hand and the other. And then you need to offer water to the relatives in the north, and the east, and the south, and the west. And only then do you get to drink. And then we got on our knees. And I think that the kind of water prayers we do, we need to be on our knees. And so think of being on your knees on the green banks of a beautiful stream, and you're reaching down into that pure water, and you're kneeling to that water, and you're taking that water inside yourself is a deep, deep prayer for the waters of earth. This song comes from an ancient site, 10,000 years old. So it's for the ancestors and the water. Yo, eh, hi, ai, 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 ya, eh, yo, eh, hi, ai, 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 do. Yo, eh, hi, ai, 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 ya, eh, yo, eh, hi, ai, 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 do. Yo, eh, hi, ai, 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 ya. Yo, eh, hi, ai, 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 ya, eh, yo, eh, hi, ai, 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 do. want to share with you that I was born there on the reservation, but I'm a mixed blood. I have lineage from the Crow tribe, where I'm a member, and also from other tribes. I found out that I was part Cherokee, which I think is really fun, because I used to tease the people back east about all being a little bit Cherokee. And so I have that lineage, but I also have Scot and Irish and other European lineages. And the Scot and Irish were like the indigenous people of America. They were put off their land and they suffered incredibly. And so I feel like I bring a global perspective to what we're doing tonight that's so important. And the thing that we find when we go around the earth is that people honor and respect and make sacred the springs. They set those aside and make them a very special and protected place. And what I would invite you all to do is I would invite you to find out what your source of water is. Is it a beautiful spring somewhere far up in the mountains, and then a stream and a river and down and down? Where does your water come from? And are you protecting that source of your water? Because I know in many places around the world and in America, Nestle and these big corporations who have said, you don't have the right to water, we can buy it and we can sell it to you. They are buying up springs in small communities. They say, oh, we'll help you. I know your water infrastructure needs help. And, we're so kind. We're going to help you and we'll develop the structure and then you'll have all the water you need. Well, you know the end of that story. The water is taken and co-opted and the people get very little, or if they get it at a high price. So the springs and the sources of your water. And I'm really going to ask you very strongly and awaken you to the need to take care of those sources of water, because they are the magic life of this earth. The rain, yes, but the sources of our water is so very, very, very important to us. And the thing that we've been looking at tonight, these amazing women who've come talking about walking the rivers and standing and being in these camps and all of these things. They're out front with what's happening with water. And we think, oh yeah, that's just Indigenous people, or oh yeah, that's just somebody else. Well, the thing is, it's everyone. We are all related and we have these incredible feelings and willingness to help the people who are right on the front lines. But the thing I want you to understand is that you too are on the front line. They're looking for your water. And so you can stand up now, stand with these people who are making these stands, stand with the people who are making laws to protect our wonderful earth and the rivers and making them into legal entities. I just love that. I love that. And you can help with all of these things. So it's really time to stand up. And, love is the most potent power for any human being, the most potent power on this earth. We love and care for and respect and honor things. And the feminine power, and I was really glad to hear Madonna speak about that. The feminine power is really that loving and nurturing and taking care of and respecting and honoring everything. So love is that. But love is also the willingness to be fierce, the willingness to stand up and say, this is the line. And it's really important to understand fierceness, because fierceness is not about aggression. It's not about hurting someone. It's not about striking out. Fierceness is about a boundary that says, no, it stops right here. I love this enough. I love this land. I love my children. I love this earth. I love all our relations enough that I will stand. And you saw tonight some very powerful people that have taken that kind of stand from a feminine place of love and energy, but fierceness and acting powerfully out of that love and fierceness. And I just want to add one more note, and I'd love to share more of this with you. In my Power and Beauty teaching, I talk about this very deeply, but it's really about the feminine. And when we're wanting to act in the world and make something happen, we often get in these very out there masculine kind of modes. And that's really important. But my teaching, and I believe that all of the Indigenous teaching talks about that the great mother energy was the beginning of all things, the birther of all life. Her womb holds all that ever was and ever will be. And when we can drop deep into our meditations, deep into our moontime lodges, deep into the quiet, powerful connection with source that is the feminine, we empower ourselves to create a new reality. The great mother, right out of her dark womb, birthed the whole universe. And out of our wombs, as the feminine form, we can birth new realities into being. And we birth them from that source that is the source of all life. And so I invite you to awaken to that feminine side of this amazing process that we're in. We are in the arising time of the feminine, and that power is stepping up in a wonderful and rich way. And I'd like to close with a song from Indigenous women of this continent. I'll just sing one verse, but it's a women's healing song. And I'd like to think that it comes right to your heart from the grandmothers who say, nurture and respect all of life. And we are now nurturing and respecting and honoring you so that you have the energy to walk forward. Na ve hai, na be hai, na be hai, na be hai. Hele kuhe lanku, hele kuhe lanku, na ve noa. For you and for all our relations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Brooke. I'm looking forward to being with you in Ashland next week. And I really want to encourage everyone, because obviously this woman has so much wisdom and so much to share. So her website is medicineeagle.com. And there's two E's there. There's the E at the end of medicine and the E at the beginning of eagle. And tell us about your Power and Beauty series.
You know, it's a wisdom training, Scott. Thanks for asking. Right now, I'm working specifically with women. I have a whole, it's a 16-week program online. I have a whole 5 or 6 series teaching women about the feminine energy and about these things I've started to mention here. Then there's a whole section on love is the answer and the incredible power, that spiritual warrior power of the heart. And then the last part is called Ancient Brain Shaman's Body. And it's really about the power that Creator gave us inside to live well and be incredibly healthy. So I'd love to have some of you join me.
Well, thank you so much. And by the way, we didn't get a chance to say it, but Brooke is the best-selling author of 2 books, Buffalo Woman Comes Singing and The Last Ghost Dance. And as we heard, she clearly has a deep sacred activism as an ecologist and a sacred activist. And she's been honoring and supporting us for 40 years. And I am looking forward to another 40 years of your medicine and your wisdom. We need it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Blessings.
I can't believe we went this long without having you on our show. We got to have you on again much sooner.
I'd love that. Thank you so much.
Likewise. And I'll see you next week at Ashland.
All right.
Thank you, Brooke.
Thanks, everyone.
What a beautiful tribe we are all a part of. And, I want to just say each and every one of you is an imaginal cell in this new butterfly that's coming out of the old dying paradigm, the old caterpillar dying world that was not sustainable. And we all have a role to play in creating a sustainable, holistic new world. And a lot of people are doing that in a tough way. Jay put together a video to show a little bit more about what Lakota Law is doing for us at this time.
It was later in the day, there was actions going on all morning, but there was a few people still out in the woods and stuff, so I just hopped in a truck with my camera, and someone who was driving in another car got pulled over, and I just asked the officer why this person was being arrested.
Why is he getting arrested?
They pulled me over. Get back in your car now. Helping with the evacuation. Okay, you can go to jail.
I said, "You're going to jail," and grabbed my camera. He ended up maneuvering behind me with his arm and lifting me off the ground in a chokehold and getting my camera onto the ground, and that's why I'm wearing this neck brace. I was thrown in the squad car and put in for 2 nights, and they took my camera and they wanted all my footage. I'm shooting mainly for Indian Country Communications out of Hayward, Wisconsin, but through that I also work with other organizations, like including Camp McGeezy and Honor the Earth and Red Lake. This Northern Lights Task Force, which is an alliance of counties, they are really conspiring with Enbridge against the public and against water protectors and our freedom of speech and the press.
That's what happened at Standing Rock. There was a time when you could tell some outside private security intelligence officers, the same companies that were at work there as mercenaries were on, they're here. They guarantee you they're here. So the only way we were able to get any of that information is through when they charged me with the felony out there. We were able to get through the discovery process, find out just how deep the rabbit hole goes.
In a lot of cases, this stuff just goes undocumented. This could be a good thing, not just for me, but like a lot of other people, if it's shared in the right way, like what they're actually doing.
Thank you, Jay, for putting that together. And I want to make sure all of you catch this. He's actually, and Chase Iron Eyes, that's who was also speaking, the older man, that by getting arrested, then it gives them access to certain documents to help reveal what's really going on if we go down the rabbit hole. I mean, they are risking themselves by putting themselves into jail. And believe me, jail is not a good place to be, especially because a lot of abuse can take place between officers and people that they're arresting, as you saw what happened to that young man. So please, let's all support Lakota Law. I'm going to bring the Q code back up again. And again, if you take your cell phone and go to the camera function and put it up to the Q code, go towards the dinosaur, a little gray bar comes up. You click that gray bar and it takes you straight to Lakota Law. And that's how you can donate. And I want to encourage everyone, please, let's support. Let's support by blessing our water. Let's support by praying. And let's also support by providing financial support to the people that are on the ground, many of whom you're meeting today. They need and they deserve our support. So please, let's do that. And again, also, if you don't want to use the Q code, the links have been put in consistently into the chat box and on Facebook and our main Facebook pages. That's another reason why it's really important for people to come into the Zoom room, because it's easier for you to get all the different things that we're posting. So you can still come on in. We've got a lot of show left. Globalpeacetribe.com. Globalpeacetribe.com to come on into the Zoom room and join us. And to share what's next, we've got a really beautiful video. Here's Jan Kaplan.
Super. Thank you, Scott. Giselle World. Giselle has been on our show before. She's an international performing and recording artist and composer. She's also recognized for her musical healing contributions in the medicine community via singing with her flute, working with various different Native American tribes, organizations, and ceremonies. She has been extensively in service to plant medicine. She's an advocate for Indigenous rights, and she shares about Indigenous wisdom and culture all over the world using music as her main tool by teaching about cultures through workshops and song circles. She's here tonight via technology while she's actually in Guatemala. So thank you, Scott.
Lazo cantante, gracias, gracias, gracias.
Isn't that beautiful? That's beautiful. And she actually recorded that just specifically for Saturday Night Live. So thank you, Jay, for discovering her. And if people want more information about her, her website is her first name, Giselle, Giselle.world. Giselle, Giselle.world. And it's a beautiful website, and you can get a lot more information about her and her music by going to that website. And as always, we really want to encourage everybody to support our presenters, to support our musical artists, because they are here providing all of these wonderful services for our pleasure and our wisdom as well. It's beautiful medicine they provide. Speaking of beautiful medicine, we have an amazing video coming up, and to tell us all about it, back to Jan.
Right. Thank you so much, Scott. Uncle Angen Gak is a shaman, a traditional healer, storyteller, and carrier of the quilat, which is a wind drum, big circle, and his family belongs to the traditional healers of the far north from up in Greenland, up above the Arctic Circle. He bridges the boundaries of cultures and faiths and people young and old. You can find out about him, and we'll post his icewisdom.com website, but he's been living in Canada. He's helping take care of his wife, so he couldn't be with us live. Jay loved the message and one of his Parliament of World Religions pre-records. So that's what we're going to share with you tonight. And so go ahead and share that, Scott. Thank you.
I come from a country called Galatlit Nunad, which means the land of the people. It's on top of the world in Greenland. And it happened to be the only country on earth where people live, where there has never been war. I noticed that here in the land of the Ute, there had been many wars. And Ute are my family. I feel for them that they had to go through the pain of killings. And I noticed the same thing all across South America, Caribbean, Pan America, and North America. One day, it will be so good for you to come and visit me. You will come to the oldest crust of earth next to my grandmother's land, our sacred land. And there has never been war. And the only thing we know is something called peace. Oh, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, I don't know very much, but have you heard about something called climate change? Have you? I don't think so. How can you know about climate change when you have not been to my country? That is the ground zero of climate change. This is the first place on earth where we feel the impact of the way you live in the United States of America. And the way you lived has not been very good. It is as though the people of the United States have forgotten that they are the caretakers and custodians of Mother Earth. And they haven't got a clue about it. I met an American coming from Colorado back home in Greenland. He was sitting alone in the airport. I went and greeted him, introduced myself, and asked him, "Where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from the Colorado mountains." "Oh, welcome home to my country. I've been here for 19 summers to study the big ice." "Oh, you must have then talked to my elders." "Oh, no. Those Eskimos, they know nothing about the ice. I went to school and studied the ice. That's the time when I became upset. Nobody ever speaks about my elders like that. Did you know that my people of Greenland, we are the only ones living on Earth with a big ice? So I told this young man who'd been there for 19 times, said, go and talk to them. They know more about the ice than you will ever know in your lifetimes to come. And the man cried. I made him cry. I didn't want to, but he cried because he became embarrassed to realize that he knows nothing about the ice compared to the Eskimos, because he only comes in the summertime for a month. So time has come to find somebody who is willing to be the hope for mankind. Mother Earth, but that's how we call her. She's going to be fine. Don't worry about her. She's stronger than you. You have no strength. You have no capacity to change. You are the only hope. The big river will come, and it does not matter anymore if you believe it or not. It will come. When she comes, there has to be someone who's a hope, because the new world which will come need people who understand the beauty of the spirit of the humans. Animal world, she will be fine. Some will disappear, as they always have. Some will survive and evolve, like the polar bear. She now is mating with the brown bears. So a new species of bear has come, who knows how to live on the land and on the ice. The plant world will survive. Don't worry about the plant world. They will be fine. It's you. You who need to be that hope. We are now 7.5 billion people of us on Mother Earth. Manhattan will disappear. I hope you will sell your condominium tomorrow. You better do it now while you have a chance. In Florida, please sell your house now, where they will disappear. You, the three of you in the front here, in your lifetime, Manhattan will sink. The water is in the ocean now. It is. And it does not matter anymore if you believe it or not. It doesn't matter. It's too late. So now become the hope. So I would like to call the ancestors of the Uchi people and all the other tribes on this little country called United States of America and Canada and all the Pan America and the Caribbean and South America where red people live. I would like to call the ancestors, because without them, you and I, we can do very little. I would like my ancestors to meet your ancestors, and hopefully they will make you aware of yourself, of how you need to change by stop talking and take action for change. If we don't change, in the Eastern Door, where the children and newborns and those yet to be born will not have guidance, there will be nobody to guide them. They will repeat the same pain as you have gone through. So that's why I came here to talk about hope. I hope and I pray, and I hope and pray again that you, one of you, will become the hope for mankind.
Let's just breathe that in for a moment. It's a powerful message. So much of what we've heard tonight is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to hear. But it hopefully is a clarion call for us all to do our part. And if any of you want to get more feedback from this wise man, his website is icewisdom.com, icewisdom.com. And that's where you can learn more about him and his wonderful wisdom. And thank you again, Chair Mayor, for finding this beautiful uncle. This is the end of our main show. And we're always kind of changing and evolving. And I wanted to let people know that you can always find the main show on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, pop in Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. We'll pop right up and you'll see all of our shows going back quite some time, going back, I think almost a year now. You can also find my Straight Talk shows and my Sacred Sunday shows there. We are going to separately record tonight's after show because we've got so many things planned for the after show. And to give you a little taste of it, here is a Jay Mayer video letting us know what's coming up. So we've got some wonderful things. We're going to hear Jay speak. We're going to hear some music. And Jan, do you want to tell us a little bit about the video from Sharon Day that we're going to start with?
All right. Yeah, Sharon is so beautiful and has made many river walks and said many prayers along many waterways. And she put together a slideshow and wrote the poetry and the words that go with it. And also the music is Purofe is on the soundtrack as well as other people. And there are credits at the end of the film. So it's just really lovely. And I hope you appreciate it.
Okay.
As you are paddling down your journey, pushing through your river of life, always know you are not alone. Acknowledge your ancestors. Feel their presence. They're right there with you, paddling with you. Allow them to guide you, to sing with you, to support you, to paddle with you on your river of life, on your journey. Be with your ancestors on your journey of life. Sing with them, paddle with them, let them be a part of your journey. Acknowledge their presence. Yes, your ancestors are with you on your river of life, on your journey.
that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now am found. 'Twas blind, but now I see.
Water is life. Nibi Bimarasuin. We are of the water. We are the water. What will I do for love? For love is the healing grace. In Gazachige Nibi Onche. I will do it for the water. We made our offerings at Lake Itasca and gathered the water as white swans flew overhead. We took a sip of the pure, sweet Mississippi and carried it downstream in our copper vessel, accompanied by our eagle feather staff and the hopes and prayers of our supporters. We carried the water downstream, past the lumber mills, past the nuclear power plants, past the corporate farms, past the cities and countryside, past DuPont and Monsanto, past the fracking, past the oil refineries, where we laid our sema down and offered prayers to open the hearts and the minds of those in charge there. We walked past the cattle, the horses who greeted us with their own dance, the turtles, the egrets, and butterflies. The red-winged blackbirds urged us on, as did the eagles. We took care of the red-tailed hawks we found along the way. Their wings became our giveaway at the end of our journey. What will we do for love? What will we do for the water? In Gazachige Nibi Onche, we walk for the water, for the Mississippi and all her tributaries, for the ancestors. We walk for the elders. We will walk for the children and those yet to come. We walk for those who cannot walk. We sing to the rivers. Nibi. We thank you. Gimigwachuendan. We love you. Gizage gu. We respect you. Gijawe Mimigo. Please forgive us. Please flow clear and freely as you once did, as you will again, as you do at the source, at the head of the waters. We, the women and men of the world, will
It seems as though it stopped, and so I'm going to start it back up again, and I apologize for that. Let's give it a try again. Huh. Yeah, it seems like it disappeared, in fact. It's not even showing up on my... That is a beautiful video. I really am loving the music by Purofe. So thank you, Jay, for finding that. And just want to remind people that if you're interested, there is actually a Facebook group that you can join where you can learn more about what they're doing. And so here it is. It's, you go to facebook.com/groups/NIBI walk, NIBI walk. And that's a Facebook group that you can join to learn more about what they're doing. So beautiful work. It was just so profound, the wisdom that we're hearing tonight. And now we're going to hear wisdom from Jay. And I really appreciate that Jay took the time to pre-record a message because he really wanted to deliver, because I know Jay, he's my friend. This is really a deep passion for him. Jay has who knows, maybe it's karmic, but he has a deep love and honor of the Indigenous people. And he also carries the awareness of how they have not been treated well. Anyway, here is a beautiful message from our executive producer, sponsor of our show, Jay Mayer.
Hi, I'm Jay Mayer, and I'm really honored to be bringing you the Indigenous Wisdom Series. And I feel it's very important that we remember and not forget that this culture, our life in America, wouldn't even exist without the Native Americans helping us. You know, our first pilgrims and Columbus and different beginning settlers really relied on the natives. They gave us corn and they taught us how to live on the land and survive. We wouldn't have even survived. So we have to understand that things are not right here in America. They could be a lot better. We could be living ecologically, soundly, one with nature. And I love the idea that we had, what would life be like if we had intermarried and kept all of our promises with the First Nations here, if we had kept our treaty obligations. And the truth is that I don't think we kept hardly any of them. And there's a price that we had to pay. We paid the price of pollution and inequality, racism, domestic violence, drug addiction, poverty in our cities. And that's a heavy price that we all pay because life could have been more perfect. It could have been better for everyone. And I'm hoping that we can regain some knowledge and some wisdom and a path forward, to a brighter future for all Americans and for all people in this world.
Jay, thank you so much. And he's with us live. There's Jay Mayer. Hey, Jay. It's a beautiful show. Very, very beautiful show tonight. And very moving. As I said earlier, a lot of it's uncomfortable, but it's really a necessity. So thank you so much for all you do to make this show happen. And now we're going to get something a little bit lighter. Jay has put together some music for us. So here's Jay and the Jam Bandits. You might recognize at least one of those bandits.
Okay, I'm Jay. That's Jan. Sometimes I say, that's Jay and Jan. It's just us, just folk,
He went that way. All right.
So we're going to play our song. It's my song. It's called Love is the Answer. I think Fantuzzi helped me write a few words to this.
Trevor, me.
Yeah.
Well,
It's mostly me, though. It's my song. Without me, there wouldn't be a song.
It's Jay's son, for
Right,
sure.
so.
Okay. Love's the answer. Love's the answer. Love's the answer. Works every time, just like the sunshine. just like the sunshine.
You gotta
love everyone.
gotta
Love everyone. Our time has come to love everyone. Shine like the sun. Got to shine like the sun.
shine, shine like the sun.
You got to shine, shine, shine like the sun. There's something better, something better around the bend.
That there's
Something better, come on around that bend.
Cause
Love's the answer. Love's the answer. Love's the answer. Works every time, just like the sunshine.
just like the sunshine.
Sunshine.
Gotta dig
Dig, dig
down your soul,
deep down inside. You got to
turn,
turn yourself around. Gotta believe that there's something better coming around that bend. Gotta believe that there's something better. It'll never end.
got to shine like the sun. You got to
Shine like the sun. Our time will come
to shine like the sun. Just like the sunshine.
just like the sunshine.
Just like the sunshine.
Just like the sunshine.
You got to love everyone. You got to love
everyone. Love everyone. Our time has come
to love everyone.
love everyone.
Our time has come to
love
everyone.
Well, that certainly speaks to the loving spirit of Jay and Jan. And may we all practice loving everyone, even that person that bothers you the most. Let's just practice. Remember, you don't have to like something about a person. You don't have to accept hurtful behaviors, but you still love the being. Just like when we're watching a little kid who's kind of, young. Right? Anyway, may we practice loving everyone. That's a very beautiful message. Here is another video that Jay's provided with some of his friends. It's also some music. And so with some fun visuals. Let's check it out.
Drums and rhythms and a very primal, percussive, energetic.
We pray on the steps, the steps of the temple. We sing in praise.
a didgeridoo, I feel like I am really like a vessel, like an open vessel. And it's just gonna be channeled first through me and then through the instrument itself to create something else outside of ourselves.
It's alive.
Something happened when the three of us started playing at the same time that just happens when we play together. It goes to a place that none of us go to on our own. Two of us, any two in combination, it's great, it's very fun, but it's not exactly the To Life sound.
We've been through the darkest night, a new day is emerging. Now we face the lessons from the choices that we've made. The time has come to make things right, depends on what we're serving. People rising everywhere, hear our voices say, we will overcome all that we've done wrong. Transformation through love and inspiration, powered by the sun. The time is running from, and we may just begun, and we may just begun. We will overcome all that we've done wrong. Transformation.
We're not confining ourselves to a particular musical style, and because of that, kind of a new expression is being created that I think people respond to and get excited behind.
We love you. We've got a great community here. Great place, great space. We love you.
To life. Absolutely. May we all dedicate ourselves to living life fully. Well, we're almost to the end. Again, thank you everybody for watching. And a reminder that if you want to help support us, definitely go to globalpeacetribe.com, register if you haven't already. And at that time, you have an opportunity to donate to us. We should appreciate that. It helps us to keep things moving forward. And I also want to just remind everybody that tomorrow morning is my Sacred Sunday with Scott and Friends show. And I've got three really fun friends joining me, Florence, Nadine, and Heather. We're going to be talking about how important it is to really not allow our shame around sexuality or around anything to stop us from being the full expression of who we truly are. Because each and every one of us is God, life, experiencing itself fully as Susie, as Debbie, as Jay, as Purofe, and each and every one of you. So please do join us. I'm going to go to gallery view because I'm really pleased to see, look at how many of our friends are still with us. Purofe, Susie, Jay Mayer. Really beautiful to see everybody that's still with us. Even Deborah Giusti's photograph. So she's probably listening in. Hi, Deborah. Looking forward to being up in North with you. So hopefully I'll see all of you tomorrow morning for our Sacred Sunday show. One more time, thank you, Jay. Thank you, Purofe and Brooke and Susie. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, viewers, for watching. We'll see you next week.